Welcome, friends, to a new episode of the Step podcast. We believe that long distances are covered with very small steps. With you is Youssef, and in the next 10 minutes we'll be talking about a trap we all fall into. How many times have you set a huge goal? For example, I will read 50 books this year, or I will lose 15 kilograms in 2 months, or I will learn a new language from scratch in a few weeks. We start with sky-high enthusiasm. Then, after a week or two, everything evaporates and we're back to square one, burdened with a feeling of frustration. Today, we'll learn how to break this cycle and how small, mundane habits are actually the hidden magic that creates the greatest achievements. We live in the age of speed, an age that promotes overnight success. We see other people's results on social media and never see the behind-the-scenes work. This makes us believe that change requires giant leaps, superhuman effort, and immense sacrifices that no human being can bear. But the truth, proven by psychology and discussed by author James Clear in his famous book Atomic Habits, is that radical change is merely an illusion. Real change requires improving by just 1% every single day. Imagine this. If you improved by just 1% daily for a whole year, you would be 37 times better at the end of the year than you were at the beginning. Conversely, if you regressed by 1% daily, you would almost reach zero. Change isn't an event, it's an accumulation. Let's take a practical example to simplify this idea. Suppose you want to write a book, but you can't find the time and the task feels impossible. What if you decided to write just 50 words every day? 50 words is just one paragraph, which might take you 3 minutes. The number seems insignificant, doesn't it? But 50 words a day means 18,250 words a year. That means you'll finish a draft of an entire book by the end of the year with just 3 minutes of effort each day. The problem is that we despise small beginnings. We often think that reading 2 pages of a book isn't enough and that a 5-minute walk doesn't burn fat, so the result is that we do absolutely nothing. The secret, my friends, isn't in the quantity. It's in the consistency. When you commit to even a small habit, you're not just getting the job done, you're building a new identity. You're proving to your mind every day that you're a reader, an athlete, or a writer. So, how do we start today? There's a golden strategy called the 2-minute rule. This rule states that when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Instead of, I'm going to study for 2 hours, say, I'm going to open the book and read 1 page. Instead of, I'm going to tidy the whole house, say, I'm going to fold these clothes. Instead of, I'm going to run 5 kilometers, say, I'm going to put on my running shoes and step out the door. The goal here isn't to accomplish the big task, but to make it easier to start. Once you begin, you'll often find yourself sticking with it, because the hardest part is always overcoming the initial resistance. Make the habit small until it becomes absurd not to do it. In conclusion, always remember that persistent drops of water carve through rock, not by their force, but by their persistence. Don't underestimate small steps. Every great achievement you see around you today began one day as a small idea and a simple habit that accumulated over time. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Step podcast. I hope you'll choose a very small habit today and start it immediately. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share it with your loved ones and subscribe to the podcast to receive all the latest episodes. This was Your Name. See you in the next step. Goodbye.